coming out of a gas station. So we have to stay to the right because that is out. And then we have to deal with this traffic that is very busy on a major thoroughfare. We have a gap, and then also it's raining. So we want to be very careful and mindful. A lot of drivers drive extremely reckless, and we have instant yellow lights. So I'm going to go up and stop behind the stop line. These are really important things that you need to know, that you need to understand. We have a solid red arrow. This means we cannot turn. Once the arrow is blinking red or blinking yellow, when we yield to traffic, we can move forward up to the middle of the intersection, and make sure you stay to the right. Now we have a blinking yellow. I can move forward. When it's clear, I'm going to make my left turn in the correct area. Here's my turn. Now this is a clover leaf, not like the leaf, but we have to go down this road very slow. They're very dangerous, particularly when it's raining, and we could have snow today in the Midwest, which will be devastating for freeway driving. We're in a 2025 Equinox. I feel fairly safe, but any car can lose control at any given time. This car did not let me in. I'm getting up to speed, so I have to come out. Now, we have to readjust our speed to the conditions on the road. We want to increase our following distance, and it's going to get worse. Thank God we're out here and we're safe. I just had new tires put on yesterday, so we want to adjust our speed to the conditions on the road and be thankful we had to get fuel. So now we don't have to worry, and we want to drive between 65 and about 70, adjust our speed up and down. And let's talk about maintenance items. We talked about wipers yesterday. Thank goodness we got the wiper service, and we took care of them. I'm going to get over one lane, gradually get into my lane, and now I'm readjusting my speed and position. If it gets really bad and we can't see, we're going to have to pull over. But I want all of you to make good decisions and understand the dangers out here of hydroplaning. Hydro is water. Plane needs to lift or fly, so we want to be safe with our current speed, because a lot of drivers are terrible on their maintenance. You see me gradually getting over. Whoa, car is hydroplaning a little bit, and I'm going to have to turn up my wiper speed some. And I want to be very intentional and deliberate of driving in this traffic. I don't want to make sudden moves. I don't want to follow someone very close. And I want to be patient. It's not very fun out here, I'm not going to lie to you. And if you think you're not nervous, you're lying. Don't lie to yourself. It's called the kryptonite quotient. Overconfident, you think you know how to drive, and then you crash. That Ford up there keeps tapping brake lights because they're tailgating. I'm riding in the tracks of them. I'm using them to help me. I'm not going to be stupid and do 75 or 80 and crash. Visibility is very important. Some of the most common collisions on the I-94 interstate, rear-end collisions, because people drive too fast, side swipes. Yesterday we saw a semi-truck and a pickup truck crash because both drivers were careless. They didn't look. We talked about having your mirrors truly adjusted, and that is so important. This car is worrying me. What is going on? They're just tapping a brake lights to tap. We're at about 68 miles an hour. Everyone is keeping an increased following distance, which is required by law. A lot of people aren't stupid, but a lot of people are reckless. Lifting my foot. I'm looking at this car as a lower car to the ground. This is Chevy. So I'm going to back off. And I don't know the condition of their tires because a lot of people just don't care about maintenance. And then when they get in weather like this, they end up spinning out of control. So I'm gradually going to get over. And I'm going to accelerate them. Ooh, I'm a little too fast, so I want to slow down some. I'm going to be very intentional. I'm judging my distance between the car to the left, the car behind me, the car in front of me. I'm making a decision what is best for me. I'm going to get over one lane to the right and accelerate. Nope, they're getting over now. I should have stayed with my original thought. So I'm going to get back over. And I'm going to try to adjust my speed and position. Precipitation comes in the form of rain, sleet, or snow. And I'm gradually going to turn my wheel, stay smooth, and be very intentional about how I'm driving. I'm going to get back over one lane to the left, and I'm going to take my time. I'm trying to stay in an open spot, as you can see. We have a Jeep ahead of us. They're beautiful vehicles, but a higher center of gravity. Those Jeeps can't flip over. I've seen one flipped over last week. The driver was not okay. We're at 63. If you think drivers are going fast, you're wrong. They are. I'm going to get over one more lane to the left. Mirror, turn signal, blind spot. Now I see a large number of brake lights. I'm going to increase my following distance because within 2 miles, people will take this road to leave the country. So I'm just taking my time, scanning. That car to the right is going too fast. I'm going to readjust my mirror. We discussed mirror adjustments yesterday, critical. And I think a lot of drivers, including new ones, forget the significance of mirror adjustments. And this car does not have adaptive cruise control, but it has front crash avoidance. So if you lose focus momentarily, it will and a red light will flash. So now there's a crash up here. So we're going to have to sit for a moment, and you got to check your rear mirror. Every time you slow down, you need to be checking mirrors, looking around, keep an out. And out is the space. For instance, if this Ford Explorer was going too fast, I could go to the left. I could go to the right. If you tailgate, you lose your competitive advantage. So you don't want to do that. If you have questions, I need you to put those in. Some cars just cutting over. You need to at least have the blinker on, a minimum of at least 3 blinks. And if I accelerate very fast, I'm going to crash. I don't want to crash. Checking mirrors again. You have to. Storytelling is very important. I'm telling you the story of defensive driving, safe driving, anticipation of accidents. As an instructor, that's my job, to educate you, inform you, and let you live your best life. If your instructor is not educating you and informing you and is passionate about driving, why are you even driving with them? I've read all your comments, the horror stories. My instructor just makes me drive to this place, that place. My instructor just had us drive around. The quality of instructors is inconsistent at best, because I read and I look at a lot of Google reviews across the country of driving instructors. The biggest thing I see is they're just not prepared, or they're burned out and they need to retire. When it's your time to leave the profession, just leave. When you felt you've reached your point, you have complaint calls, you're snapping at kids, your paperwork is falling off, it's time to do something else. We all know when our time is. Sometimes it's sooner, sometimes it's later. As long as I'm teaching at a high quality rate, I'm enjoying what I'm doing, I'm going to make this content for you guys. I'm going to go live and I'm going to help you do your best. When it's tiring, a hassle, and my quality drops off, it's time for me to do something else. All these social media platforms are about interest. And if you make good content, you will get views. If it's low quality content, inconsistent, no one will look at your videos. And by me taking you through the journey of real driving, where we're coming up on this car and not trying to hit it, that's real. You can feel that. I know I felt it. And I know I did not want to hit this Ford Explorer. And I know I did not want another driver behind me to hit me. I'm a little too close because I can't see the rear of the tires. But I did use the ball of my foot. And I am reducing speed in this zone. A lot of adults don't drive because they didn't have a good coach. They have driving anxiety. That's my area of expertise, to help you. I've driven people in their 30s, their 20s, their 40s, their 50s, their 60s. Everyone has a journey and a story. And I want to continue to extend my career for the good. Now, that's a good stop. So how I gradually slowed down? That's what you should be doing, so you can see the rear of the tires. I'm looking through I'm trying to look ahead as much as possible. When you're driving in weather like this, you gotta look, you gotta check your mirrors. You really have to extend your vision. I think all drivers should go through a refresher course about every 5 years. Go through the basic fundamentals, rules of the right of way, roundabouts, zipper merge, turning right on red. I'm gonna let this semi truck go by. So I just flashed. So I'm letting that truck go by. And then I communicated on the HTS. I wasn't disrespectful to our truck driver because I would lose that fight. And sometimes you gotta walk away. Other times you have to fight for what you believe, because we all want to arrive alive. And between that 16 and 26, the most likely time for any of you to die is that age group. Look at them hitting the freaking barrels. What the heck, bro? Damn. Excuse my language. Really? Man, they about to get road raged on. You see that, dummy? Wow. People cannot drive. I'm sorry that I got mad at that, but it's real out here. I'm not going to lie to you. And that made me wonder, was I doing something wrong? No. If I see a driver hitting barrels, there's a problem. Maybe they're not aware. Reduce speed on wet pavement. Crashes are 2 times as likely. People can't read and they're not aware. And I often wonder, why do drivers do this? You see all these lights? They're workers out here. We talked about this yesterday in class. And it's a reality. I'm not going to accelerate crazy fast because we'll spin out of control, even with new tires and a new vehicle. That 70-mile-per-hour speed limit is just a suggestion. You've got to look at the road conditions. You got to know your tires. You have to know your equipment. You have to know and have experience. If you don't have any of those things, you shouldn't be on the expressway. And I'm more aware of crashes of young drivers, semi-truck drivers, the elderly. And I'm here to advocate for more training. In Ohio and Florida, there's more training required. And I think that's really important. There's nothing wrong with professional development. As an instructor, every 2 years, I have to go through professional development, background check, physical. I think that's really important. Vision, blood pressure, mental health, possible diabetes. Okay? I'm trying to make a nice little lane change. Because if you really can't drive and you're not safe, you shouldn't be on the road. I don't think people really listen. And I don't think they really care. But if you care about your life and you care about others, and I do, then you need to take care of yourself. I'm not your mom and dad. They're from out of the country, Ontario. I'm not your mom and dad. You can say I'm your uncle. I'm going to give you real honest advice. And those OGs you need to listen to, because they've been through a lot of stuff. And I'm still lucky to be here. I'm meant to be here. Because if it was meant for me to crash and be gone, I would have been dead a few years ago. So I'm not going to be stupid. You get over one lane. It's not business as usual. Every single day, the environment changes. We could have ice later today if the temperature drops down. This truck, I don't want to be around this. So I got to keep moving. in and out of the blind spot. And I'm trying to be very smooth. And once I see them in my rearview mirror, I'm gonna get over and be very intentional. I promised to get a rear dash cam in here. I have the mirror, I have the equipment. I just need to mount it in so you guys can really see. And I promise that. So I'm gonna have to, whoa. I see traffic slowing down. I'm looking at the semi truck. They're not moving. Cars are not braking. That's how rear-end collisions happen. Because I want you to really see what's going on. And if you think a 360 camera or a dash cam or the Meta Ray-Bans are good, let me know. I'll purchase those. Because I just want to continue to bring you the best that I can to help you. Because people are clowns out here. They're foolish. They don't care. And I want to be alive to see my son and daughter grow up. And I want to grow. Like this semi-truck coming to the left. Who wants to mess with that, man? Are you serious? So I'm just trying to take my time and do my best. Sorry about that. And you want to signal early. This truck is tailgating me off, and they cut me off. That's how accidents happen. So increase your following distance. Dang, that truck was close to me. God, man. Turning on my left turn signal, and I'm squeezing my brakes. This is a crossover, and this gentleman, I believe, is a homeless veteran. So we get it, we understand, and it's cold and it's terrible out here. And you really get a chance to see the character of people. That's a homeless veteran, man. He could have mental health issues. My man's about to fall, right? It's cold out here. Look at this dude, man. Wow. And I want to put together a program to help him. Mental health, ripple effects, social-emotional, help him get him moving. So the bigger calling is helping this guy, right? And I want to transition in 2032. I love driving, teaching adults and teens, but my bigger picture is helping young teens. Pause. Here's my gap. And help them. Now, the bigger picture is the flock license plate readers. They're pulling a lot of data because the community is tired of crimes, breaking and entering, carjacking, malicious destruction of property. How do I know? I used to be a probation officer. That's something you don't know. I'm going to stop. Then I'm going to move forward. You have to stop. And I don't want to hit the sign. Get back. Signal, intention. There's a huge pothole. I cut it short. And then park lots are very dangerous. A lot of pedestrians are backed into and ran over in parking lots. So you want to be very intentional about what you do, signal your intention. It's just pride in your driving. And I want you to have pride in the things that I talk about. I need you to subscribe to the channel. I'm a state certified driving instructor. I teach adults and teens. I want to continue to bring you value, show you real life, real situations. Subscribe, give it a thumbs up, smash that bell notification. I really appreciate you, and thank you.